On this episode of Bobscaping, we're doing a fall lawn renovation. Here you can see a lawn which already had considerable dead areas. The homeowner had progressed with the Roundup spray, so some Roundup spray was put on initially, more Roundup was applied, so the lawn is in various stages of turning brown, the grass dying off. You really need to leave Roundup on 1 week before you disturb the roots. It takes 1 week for the chemical to translocate into the root system. So what we're doing now, we've taken a sod cutter and set the depth at a level where it gets to the soil surface without taking an excessive amount of soil with it. Here we see the sod cutter, and again it's been adjusted. There's an adjustment on the back here where you set the height of the cutting blade. Usually you make a test cut, see if it's at the right height, adjust it however is necessary. So we've started out here by the street. You see we've already made 3 passes cutting the old sod off, and here you can see the edge of where we've cut and where we haven't, and you can see it does have a thick thatch layer. Thing to remember when you are stripping sod is how fast it accumulates. This is a 1-ton dump truck which is almost full, and there's probably only about 1,500 square feet of sod on there. So when you're stripping sod, you definitely want to make accommodations for getting rid of it. You could do the same sort of lawn renovation without using chemicals. However, it becomes difficult to dig deep enough to get all the roots of some of the weedy grasses without removing excess topsoil. Of course, the goal is to preserve as much topsoil on the site as possible, which is why you only want to set the sod cutter deep enough to cut the thatch out and not also cut off a large layer of topsoil. If you were doing it by hand on some of these coarser, weedier grasses, you would have to use a shovel or a spade and try to remove the weedy roots so that these grasses don't return. Once all the old sod's off, then it'll be time to cut and fill. Cut down the high areas. There's a ridge along this area of the lawn. Shave that off, put that into the low spots, and then bring in our topsoil for final grading. Okay, so we have spread 10 tons of topsoil to help even the lawn up. We've also applied lime, starter fertilizer, and an organic fertilizer for sustained feeding. The next step is for us to apply the grass seed. The customer has selected a turf type tall fescue, which is a coarser bladed grass, and here you can see the coarseness of it. Coarse grass seed is a lot easier to spread than the finer seed that you find in Kentucky bluegrass and some other varieties. Okay, the mushroom manure has been applied to the lawn. Now it's ready for watering. Here you can see some dry mushroom manure. On the other side of the walk you can see what it looks like when it's been watered. Now it's just a matter of keeping the lawn moist for 3 weeks, and beyond that, probably every other week since it's fall, and at that point we'll be doing some mowing. For this episode of Bobscaping,